Right now we have racing Lisa Gladdy and Dave Thomas. Now Lisa top seed in C grade. David a little bit of a wild card because he tends to race a lot better than he qualifies. So Lisa will want to keep an eye on him. She's not raced here before, so everybody's an unknown quantity to her. And leaving the door open for Dave to go underneath if he wants to. Probably doesn't want to sprint 350 metres at this point. But he had the opportunity. Now Lisa's shut that door. And just, they get the bell, still real no pace on. Lisa just hovering around that red line, just tempting David to go under if he dares. But by and large, David can really only go over the top, and still with 200 to go, no one's really made the move, and there's still no sprint on. They do realise it's 2 laps, I hope. There goes David trying to get around the outside. There's a long way to go, and Lisa, a very impressive kick there, has just kicked clear away very quickly, and very quickly gets 10-15 metres on David, and records her first difference in qualifying time between he and Jennifer. So Jennifer, you would think, would need to try something here, because by flying 200 times you feel that John has got the speed. No pace on there. Jennifer has John up against the fence, but plenty of room if he does want to go through. Now she's decided to go early. As I said, she needs to do something different. Now, it's quickly opened up a bit of a gap, but John not panicking. Looks like he just wants to ease himself up into a slipstream. Now he's laying off there, which is the tactic to use in sprint racing, rather than sit right on the wheel, because then it's harder to get out. Is to leave a bit of a gap between yourself and the lead rider, and then pick your moment to kick around and come past them with speed. And John has done that very effectively, passing Jennifer on the back straight with 180 odd metres to go. And he can drop down now. He's safely past Jennifer if he wants to get down into the lane. Doesn't need to, stays up high and records a convincing win. We're thinking about calling her Max, as in Max Walker, or Johnny. And she's gone very early as well. She's trying to drag Pat out for almost a 600 metre sprint. It's still a long way to go. We're still best part of a lap and a quarter to go. They haven't got the bell yet. Pat's sitting back. He hasn't lost any further ground than Janine after her early and unexpected jump, but nor has he made up ground. Starting to close it a little now. It's always handy to be that second rider, having someone to chase. He's going to pull up to her wheel just as we enter the back last bend. Now he's got to come around. He has to come around the long way, and he has been sprinting now for 600 metres. That's going to tell on both riders. Pat now comes around the long way, but has a bit of height and a bit of momentum. And from my eyes, looks like Pat, first time this pair raced against each other a couple of seasons ago, there was jokes about could the track hold their combined weight. But they both trimmed down, and they're both looking mean and fast. This should be a good race. Andrew with the lead, happy to stay down low. Keep an eye on Carl. I can hear clicking. I don't know if that's someone's bike or Carl's knee. Carl just throwing a bit of a dummy to get a bit of height, and also to back off. By doing that, he laid off Andrew without having to soft pedal or back pedal. Gave him a bit of a gap to accelerate into. Now, Carl has qualified faster, and he has got those fast bars and fast legs, and he's putting in a big effort to try to get around Andrew, but Andrew's kicked again, and he's trying to hold Carl on the hip. Now, Carl is actually going faster than Andrew at this point, even though he's coming around the outside. And in the end, that's a good win by building up quite a rivalry over the last few months. James, one of our junior invitationals. The other one, Emily, not here today. She's in the disc. James is a very competent bike handler. Not a lot of speed on. Both riders up on the fence. Acres of room for James to go underneath if he wants to. And Nick will need to watch that as the race develops, because James does have a killer kick.
Would the commentator please watch his coaching? I hope you can hear this, Dino. Watch out for the coaching.
I think Nick knows James better than I do, so I'm not telling him anything he doesn't know.
It's not just this one, Dino.
So the speed has picked up around the McDonald's sign. They hit the bell. Sprint. The speed is up, but the sprint is not quite on. Nick now pins his ears back, out of the saddle, driving hard. He'll be on a bigger gear than James, that's for sure. But James has got tremendous leg speed, as the juniors tend to have. It's going to be a bit of a battle coming around that bend. Nick doing a good job keeping James on the hip. James is going to have to really spin the little legs now to get over Nick, and I think he has. Rolling off is Aaron Christensen and David Scarlett. Aaron, better known as an enduro and pursuiter, trained a bit with him.
Points race.
He's a points race specialist, he tells me. And he'll be wanting to win the points in this one. But the only points are on offer are for the last sprint. David Scarlett, I must confess I don't know anything about. I know he raced here last round. But I was ill with double pneumonia, so I didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
Now, Aaron did qualify a lot quicker than David, but looking at last month's results, David races and raced a whole lot quicker than he qualified, and that is the way with some riders. Some riders qualify better than they race, others race better than they qualify. So they've got the bell, but the sprint certainly not on. Aaron keeping a close eye on his opponent. No, if David can't really go underneath, he can only go one way, and Aaron knows that, and he wants to cover that one. David now just increasing the speed. He knows he can't go underneath from where he is unless he really backs off, and he can't do that. And Aaron is the one that kicks. Kicks with 350 odd metres to go. Oh no, this is the last lap. There you go. That could be Emerson, who raced with us last month. He said Emerson hadn't covered whether he wanted to go over the top or underneath. I said, Chris, this is the way the rest of us feel when we race you. He's a very competent sprinter, is Chris. Great bike handler. Very hard man to get around. And if he's behind you, he seems to find a way to get in front of you very quickly. No real pace on. Chris seems to have the race under control. No room for David to go under him. If that's an option he wants, he'd be wanting to back off. He can go over the top, but Chris is watching him and would have that move covered as well. I said Chris is a hard man to get under. David now makes a move and has got a good kick on him there, but Chris manages to keep him on his hip and doesn't give him a chance to come down in front of him. David certainly reaches the back corner fast, quicker. Oh, sorry, Nick. And Chris Ray, looking forward to this one. Not much between them. Jamie qualified slightly faster with a 12.264 and Neil with 12.384. So 200ths of a second. And they've started off quickly, right from the gun, which is different to most of the races we've seen so far. Jamie looks the goods. He's our international visitor, or one of them today. Seems to have the race under control as they get the bell. Neil's tried to go under and over, but David, Jamie seems to have that covered. haven't really opened up the throttle. They have now. A bit of drifting it up and down, but has the sprint. Now the sprint is on. Now it is definitely on. And Jamie has kicked hard and looks like to have the speed over Neil in this occasion on the lead.